Yeah. All right, guys, guess what? It's Saturday. We're doing a podcast episode because we have nothing better to do with our lives except do podcast episodes. So, welcome back to the B Leaguers podcast. My name is Stokes. This is Flynn. Hi, Flynn. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy.
Good, man.
I'm almost over my cold. Almost. I'm almost back to normal.
Well, that's good. You know what I decided to start doing since I was coughing?
What?
Drink beer.
I wish
Just
I could
good
use
choice.
a beer right now.
You messed up. We were
I
gonna we
did.
were gonna do this whole pop the tab thing for the entrance, and he just didn't have a beer. So
No, I don't have
you
any
messed
beer
it
in the
all up.
house. I did. I am officially the worst at everything. And that's why I do this.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Anyways, more or less, guys, we're just gonna be covering a little bit of the drama that's went on this week, as well as the games for EU, because we already had NA as well as LATAM for this week, and those games are awesome. If you guys are interested in seeing those, those were on the last podcast episodes. Definitely go back and listen to that. But we will be talking about the EU games today, as well as a little bit of something that was going on later this. Well, not later this week. Later this week, as in from Monday to Friday, but as in later on in the week is when it went on. So we'll be talking about that as well. So Flynn, if you'd like to start us off here, well, I'll give you the floor.
Absolutely. So, this was funny in its own way. We start off the day, nothing's really happening. And a tweet comes out from ESL Rainbow Six, and whoever runs that account, like I've said multiple times before, that person deserves a raise. In this case, I don't think they're going to be getting so much of a raise as they'll get yelled at. So here's what went down. Today is Davide Bucci, or FoxA, better known as. It is his birthday. It is his 19th birthday. A lot of smart people on the internet then went, hey, wait, if he turned 19 in 2019, then how was he 18 in 2016? That doesn't math. And if anyone's unaware, FoxA played in Pro League in both 2016 and 2017. So there's a lot of numbers there that aren't fucking adding up. And it's not looking good for ESL. It was a joke post by ESL, just their typical meme format. It was a collage of pictures of Davide, also a collage of pictures of Justin Bieber mixed in for the obvious reference that everyone makes to him. I call him Eyebrows because his eyebrows are very large, and I need to distinguish myself from the other shit posters who call him Justin Bieber. Yeah, this is a problem. This is a really big fucking problem, if it's true, and it kinda does look true. So I'm not here to air any dirty laundry that no one else is already aware of. I'm just gonna call this person close to FoxA and leave it at that. You can do your own digging, should you please. A person today tweeted out a screenshot of DMs between herself and FoxA, in which FoxA, according to this picture, openly admits to playing in Pro League underage. Which also doesn't fucking help. So there's a lot of evidence here, and there's not a lot of counter argument to be had about it. It's a simple mathematical fact. Were you 18 when participating in Pro League? Yes or no? There's kind of no reading in between the lines here, although there have been a lot of in between the lines calls made by ESL in the past. I'm not here to lambaste ESL's reputation. I worked for them from time to time. I like everyone that I've worked with. I've liked everyone that I've met from ESL. I like my job. I'd like to keep my job. But I think it's fair to at least call into question some of the things that have been debated upon as far as ESL rulings. They're open for public commentary, and I'm just asking the question, where do the written rules end and the unwritten rules begin? Because there's a lot of reading between the lines that has to be done on a lot of calls that have been made in the past in our 3-year existence under ESL in the Pro League. So this is bad. This looks bad, and I don't exactly know what the future holds for this call, because while he wasn't 18 back then, he certainly is now. So can you retroactively punish him for that? Also, how the hell did ESL not know that he was underage, specifically when going to LAN? He played at the Gamescom LAN with Excellence. We talked about that game, I think, 2 episodes ago, something along those lines. Where he participated in Germany, and so through my dealings with ESL, whenever I've been given flight information or been requested information to provide for them so they can book my flights to events, they ask for your date of birth and your passport number. Those things kind of prove how fucking old you are, considering they ask for your birth date. And your birth date is on your fucking passport. So someone explain to me how the hell no one knew about this, first off. Second off, is there going to be any retroactive punishment towards FoxA? Thirdly, are we seeing maybe a loosening on the 18 and up rule? Stokes, how do you feel about all this?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a lot to take in.
It is.
I mean, the main thing is this is just a really big yikes for ESL. I mean, that's like, excuse me for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and there was some peanut butter that was just bugging me. So I apologize for that, guys. But no, like overall, it's just not a good look for the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the main thing here is like, okay, well, you hard set these rules, and you have young pros, young soon-to-be pros, that play in all these tournaments. You know, like Yaga can't even play a freaking Go for without getting protested for being underage, like stuff like that. But then you have this get just either fly under the radar, or a specific amount of people know about it, and you let it fly. And these are the times where that stuff can bite you. It's at the end of the day, it just does not look good for ESL. I mean, like, it's not going to really, punish ESL at all. Like, people are just going to look at it and be like, okay, like, I don't really know why you guys allow this. But, I mean, they're definitely ESL is going to have to do something about it just to prove that, maybe they didn't know about it. You know what I mean? So, I can see possibly game suspensions coming out or something like that. I mean, that's how issues are handled throughout every other sport and esport when stuff like this happens. I mean, you can backdate punishments. It's happened a million times. So I can definitely see something happening to FoxA if this is, confirmed as 110% true, which, I mean, it's really not that hard to put 2 and 2 together. 2 and 2 is 4. It's 2019. He's 19. There you go. Game came out in 2015. He was playing Pro League on Excellence at the time, which was end of 2015. Excuse me, beginning of 2016. So
17 on that specific team, but yes.
Yeah, but he was a year 1 pro, wasn't he?
That I'm not
like
sure
late year 1.
That I'm not sure of. I threw late 2016 in there.
Let me check his Wikipedia real quick.
All right, I threw late 2016 in there just as a safety net, but I don't know if he played in any like Challenger League or Pro League in 2016, but he played in Pro League in
He was okay. Most Wanted Esports 2017 6, which is that's July 10th of 2017.
That would have been right around Gamescom.
That's when he switched over to Excellence. So he was on Most Wanted at like the start of 2017.
That's what they were called before they were picked up by Excellence.
Yep. And then so on and so forth. So basically 2017 is when FoxA's career started. So
all right, so then the question becomes, is 17 and a half 18? No, it's not. I hate to break it to you.
Let's ask the mathematician real quick. The answer is no.
Let me pull up a calculator real quick. Wow, the calculator comes back and also confirms that no, 17 and a half is not 18. So that's a problem. That's a fucking problem right there. I mean, I don't get how this goes under the radar for so long though. I don't actually understand how this goes unchecked and unnoticed by ESL for so long.
Fox got so
Because
baited on that DM too, dude.
yeah, and I mean,
oh my
all it
goodness.
took was a tweet about his birthday, and fucking 20 people figured out in the fucking replies to it. So
Yep.
tell me how, while FoxA has been competing in Pro League for the last year, almost straight, that no one at another event just clocked that and went, "Wait, you weren't old enough back then." Oh, hey, math is difficult. I don't know, man. I fail to see how no one put two and two together about his birthday, knowing how storied his career is in Pro League. So I'm
Well, it's definitely getting storied now.
yeah, and I feel bad for him because I like Davide. I like him. I've met him at plenty of events. Actually, he was one of the participants on Team Canada at the very first LAN I ever casted. He was on the team that I casted for the very first time I ever casted with Parker at the desk in Mississauga for the Canadian circuit way back then last year.
I'm gonna act where I know where that is. Anyways,
Yeah,
continue.
it's outside of Toronto. You know, like I've so my career has basically been growing since the very beginning, and at almost every turn, FoxA has been there. The only tournament I've ever actually casted a LAN for that he wasn't a part of was the Canadian Nationals' most recent season LAN, because he had already moved to California, and then the Euro Cup. Every other LAN he's been there, and I've hung out with him a couple times, and he and I wouldn't say we're the closest of friends in the entire fucking world, but we're mutual acquaintances, and I like him. So this sucks to kind of see this coming out about a guy that I really do enjoy the company of and enjoy his play and enjoy his personality. He's a very funny guy. But that doesn't kind of however good of a person he is, it doesn't kind of exclude him from the fact that apparently he played underage, and that's I don't even know what kind of punishment you could realistically drop on him now.
I can only think game suspensions. That's it. Like,
Yeah, people are talking about like year-long suspensions and stuff and
oh,
banning
I don't know
him, and
about
I'm
that
like,
one. Okay, all right. This isn't Counter Strike with freaking I Buy Power. Okay, calm down. Like we're not ending people's
yeah,
careers
but
because of this.
okay. I need to get this out, and I need to preface the fuck out of this. I am not a Shiko defender. I know there are a lot of them out there. I know there are a lot of motherfucking Shiko defenders out there. And to not be a Shiko defender, I can't be a FoxA defender. Because there's never been any proof, and it's whether or not ESL has it on the back end or not, fine. You know, they might have proof that Shiko was simultaneously using a macro with some kind of hacking software included. Who fucking knows, right? Who fucking knows? But the ban was based off of using a macro. That is what the ban was issued for. Whatever extraneous evidence ESL has about other programs and shit, by all means. But to us, the judgment, the ruling on Shiko's 2-year ban was based on him just using a macro. That macro literally could have, I don't know, sent out an alert to charge his wireless toothbrush for all I fucking know. It's still against the rules, and he got banned for it. It's a very minor discretion when you don't take into account that there possibly could have been cheating software involved as well. And then you look at this with FoxA. I mean, he was 17 and a half at Gamescom based on his birthday. You got a guy like Bolo, who today tweets out and jumps in, who is 17 and a half currently, going, "Hey, can I play Pro League now?" And you kind of laugh it off and you go, "Yeah, that's a funny joke," but where do you draw the line on like the punishment? There's no precedent for this. No one has, at least in Siege anyway. I'm sure there's ESL precedent for it, and they'll look back on it for a ruling, but to the best of my knowledge, there's never been something of this scale when it comes to deceiving ESL as far as their personal information and their legal eligibility to participate in these events. So I don't know what kind of ban ruling you're coming from or what kind of judgment you're looking to place upon him, but I mean, with how harsh they went in on Shiko, and again, not trying to defend the man, he broke the rules and he got banned for it. If you're banning him for 2 years off of a macro, what are you banning FoxA on for playing for 6 months and at a LAN without being 18? Like, where's the justification going to come in? Like, I'd very much like to read an entire justification from ESL, just basically outlining their mindset with it if they do hand down some kind of punishment. It's just, I don't know. I mean, what does that mean for reciprocity? What does that mean for the rest of them for the season? They have a spot at Invite, and that's a month away. Group stage starts in 29 days? 30 days? How long is he going to be banned for? Is he going to be is it going to be like a calendar-based ban, so he's banned for X amount of months, years, centuries? I don't fucking know. Is he going to be banned for a certain amount of games? Do those games include, like, group stage games for reciprocity at Invite? Does that mean he won't be eligible for the rest of the season and the group stage of Invite, but he might be able to jump in if reciprocity makes it into groups? Like, I'm concerned here, because I don't know what kind of judgment they could possibly lay upon him when, to be honest, let's all be fucking honest here. That's a very easy connection to make for anyone at ESL prior to now. I don't even know what judgment would be fair, what kind of punishment would be fair as far as a suspension goes, because that, you got to look at kind of your own ineptitude, really, when it comes to not putting two and two together on that. This is a sticky situation. I don't envy the people who have to make these decisions.
And it's just crazy because, like, it's been so long ago now that it's just like, it's not that it's become irrelevant. Obviously, it's something to talk about, and it's something that ESL is obviously going to have to make a statement on or something along those lines. But I mean, the thing is, right now, is that he really did just have some really, really good success at that age, and it's not good. It's not good because you have a high profile player like that. It's not like he was in a season then out, and that someone's like, oh yeah, 2 years down the line, like, oh yeah, K9 that hasn't been in Pro League for a year, oh yeah, he was 17 and a half at the time, and he played like one season. And you're like, okay, well, he's not in Pro League anymore. Well, Fox is still in Pro League, and he's a very prominent player. So it is kind of, walking on eggshells in the sense of how you're going to handle that, because too harsh and you're going to end somebody's career, but too light, and then all of the community is going to go up in arms about how Bolo and Yogg can't play and everything else, So very, very touchy subject.
Yeah, if anyone's unaware of why the rule is 18A, I just went over this with Stokes before we started recording, and I thought this was pretty common knowledge, but I saw a lot of people in the replies, still saying then just lower the age. Well, you can't do that if you're ESL. So ESL is a German company of origin, and in Germany, I don't even think the laws specifically dictate about anyone under the age of 18 competing or receiving money. There might be a gambling law in Germany. I'm not familiar with gambling laws in Germany, so forgive me if this is all wrong. To the best of my knowledge, it's just because of the rating of the game. So the rating that a bunch of different commissions give a bunch of different video games. If you're in, I think it's all of North America, we're all under one system, which is like everyone teen, I don't know, it's like teen 13 plus or whatever, then mature is 17 plus. And then the EU has a different age bracket, basically, an age bracket ranking system. But the long and short of it is the game is rated 18A in the EU, and Germany is part of the European Union, so they have to follow those laws. So to the best of my knowledge, that is actually the only law prohibiting pros from being under 18 to competing. Like I said, there might be some sort of gambling law that protects minors as well in Germany, but that I'm not 100% on. To the best of my knowledge, it's just because of what we call the ESRB, but they have a different board governing council that gives out those ratings. That's the reason why ESL events are all 18A, and that's why you need like parental signature forms and stuff to go to Invite and other LANs if you're under the age of 18, stuff like that. To the best of my knowledge, it's just because of the game's rating and that ESL is a German-based company. following that line, I think if there was like a Canadian or American company to host things, I'm pretty sure mature is 17 plus on mature rated video games. So that would be, anyone over the age of 17 could participate in Pro League. And there's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of hypotheticals you could draw from this whole situation. But lowering the age is not an option. But now, you got to talk about, the 17-and-a-half-year-old guys who are pretty fucking nuts, who we've seen through a league like CCS before, who we just know as content creators. Bolo comes to mind, obviously, as an underage gunner. There's been a lot of them who have had to wait until they are 18 and abide by the system, and then get picked up by a team and grind their way. Billboard is one of those names that really strikes me as a guy who really had to wait his fucking turn to turn 18. And for all the guys who are under 18 and about to be 18, who've had to wait to be 18 and are now participating in some kind of semi-pro or pro capacity, you really got to feel for them in this situation, because they did wait that long. They did bide their time and play by the rules and await their age and their date of becoming of age to be able to participate. And then it comes out that, oh shit, there was a dude who was, 17 and a half, but ESL let it slide or just didn't notice. And I don't know, it makes me feel for them, the guys who actually did follow the rules and didn't try and skirt the rules, who were good enough to participate in Pro League at that age, because God knows there are quite a number of them out there. It makes me feel for those guys more than anything, that they're still sitting on the sidelines while this is all boiling down and turning into a huge drama fest and a huge argument and conversation about whether or not the age should be 18 or not, even though there's no possibility of changing that. But those guys really are the ones who really get screwed out of this the most.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a very tough subject to talk about, because obviously we don't have anything with ESL where we have any kind of ruling or any oversight into what happens with anything along those lines. So we're more just throwing shit into the wind, and that's about it. I mean, it's just a very, very tough thing, and the person that has to make the call on that at ESL, have fun. I'm just gonna put it that way. Just have fun, because you're either going to give too harsh of a punishment, or it's gonna be too light, and everyone's gonna hate you for it. So, just do what you got to do, and Fox already knows about it. So I mean, it's not like it's gonna be coming out of left field. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, I did want to do this one thing, since we do. Guys, we've been getting a lot of support for the podcast, which is awesome. I appreciate all of you guys so much. If you guys want to follow the new Twitter for B Leaguers, it's at B Leaguers on Twitter. That's all it is, at B Leaguers. We got the OG at, because Stokes thought ahead. So got that. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, if you guys do enjoy supporting charities, there actually is a huge charity stream going on Twitch right now. It's Games Done Quick. If you guys have never seen it before, they do speed runs and everything along those lines. Very, very cool event. They literally basically break your favorite games from your childhood and just trying to complete them as fast as possible. If you guys have never seen it before, it's fantastic to watch. I watch it every single week that they do it. They do one per season. So they do a winter, spring, summer, and fall. And it's just a very, very cool thing. It supports Prevent Cancer or Doctors Without Borders, just depends on the time of the year. So if you guys enjoy supporting charities, definitely go throw some money at those guys, because they're fighting the good fight, guys. And that's definitely something that if we can help push anybody to give some money towards, we're definitely going to do it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of charity drives lately. So I've been more focused on the charity drives that have to do with hockey, obviously, because the hockey season is well upon us. And there's been a lot of good charities around, raising a lot of money for a lot of good things, specifically here in Toronto and outside the country, inside of Canada, outside of Canada, in the United States, abroad as well. If you do have the time, or you have $5 laying around, I'd highly recommend stretching whatever you can, whatever is disposable, whatever you can think of that falls out of your wallet and you wouldn't complain about. Toss that at someone who could definitely use it, because there are a lot of people out there who desperately need it. As someone who grew up and only really survived because of the local food bank, I really do appreciate a lot of these efforts that are being made by a lot of the communities that we're in. It it would mean a lot to the both of us if you did reach out there and try and make a difference. It doesn't have to be $1,000. It doesn't have to be.
It can be $5. That buys somebody something. That's the one thing that I feel like people don't understand, especially like cancer foundations. It's not just going to the research; it's going to cancer patients. If they need, say, they need something, they need a new shirt, they need food, they need any of that. That's what all of that goes to. It's not just towards the research. So it's definitely something helpful that you can do to try and help out some people from around the world. So it's just a very, very cool thing.
Well, now we're done with our pandering. Changing subjects. Are we done with FoxA? Do we have anything more to say about the FoxA situation?
No, I mean, let the chips lie where they may. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, well, all we can really do right now is sit and wait and see what the fuck happens with the ESL ruling.
We'll
if there is
update
gonna be
you.
one. Oh yeah, we'll fucking let you know what the fuck happens. But as for right now, there's not a lot going on as far as news, other than that. That little drama piece that dropped today. Outside of that, while we were off, we decided to do the podcast today on an off day because holy fuck, I am drained. I am mentally motherfucking drained from watching Pro League every single day. This is getting on my nerves now. Like I love Siege. I don't want to watch people stream anymore. I don't want to watch any more games. I don't want to cast anything right now. Like I'm so burnt out on Siege already. And that was only 4 days in a row. We have an off day today on Saturday when the podcast will come out later this evening. And then it's 7 days straight of Pro League. We have back-to-back NA Sunday, Monday. We have back-to-back LATAM Tuesday, Wednesday. And then back-to-back EU Thursday, Friday. Our next off day is not until next Saturday. And then we get to fucking do it all over again.
Yep, so basically the reason it wasn't like that last week is because they started later in the week.
Yeah.
Just so this is going to be what the rest of January is going to be looking like. So it's going to be a wild ride.
I'll say it right now. I'm definitely not going to be able to watch at the rate that I have been. There are real life obligations that I have to actually live through, and watching Pro League has not only fucked my sleep schedule, but it has it's mentally draining me to the point that I don't want to see anything about Siege. I don't want to watch YouTube videos. I don't want to watch older VODs. I don't want to watch new VODs. I don't want to watch anything live right now. I need the rest of today and tomorrow, and unfortunately there's NA games tomorrow, and I might honestly skip watching them live and just try and pick through them as VODs. Because I'm upset right now, honestly, at how burnt out I am. What?
Nothing. Red Bull Esports just donated 100 subs to AGDQ. So.
Hey, there you go. See what we're talking about? Big companies out there making a mark. You can make one too. So jumping in, the games that we have not yet talked about, which were the European games, Thursday and Friday, back-to-back play days. And what the fuck is EU anymore? I think on probably the first episode of this podcast, I asked, would Chaos win a single game all season? Because they honestly looked the fucking worst out of every team there. Yeah, they're in first right now.
Yeah, and Penta is shitting the bed, so
quite hard. I don't really know if the Panics drop was really all that forethought out. Maybe this is a season where we might see Penta leave again. It's very early, right? Like I do kind of want to reel in some of these early predictions and shit, but come on, man. Penta has looked just objectively bad, first of all. And second of all, what the fuck is the top right now? So, for anyone who's unaware what the standings look like right now, Chaos is in first, Empire is in second, ENCE is in third, and Secret is currently in fourth.
It's wild. It's the wild. Like, we thought NA was the Wild West. This is the Wild East.
Everything else has been boring compared to EU. EU is the most exciting region because there's actually turmoil and upheaval. Both the other regions are fucking boring as shit. The teams who are supposed to win are winning. There's no upsets. There's no crazy storylines about teams who were about to be relegated last season in first fucking place. There's none of that shit, alright? We got normalcy in NA. We got fucking chaos and entropy in EU, and I love it.
I know this is completely off topic, but I want this on the podcast, so if Parker listens to it later, he knows that I asked you this. What do you want me to tell him for my 2-month resub?
Oh, are you doing it right now?
Oh, I'm gonna do it right now. Absolutely.
All right. I don't know. What do we want to say to Parker? What do we want to say to Parker?
We have the ear of everyone, guys. He's got 874 people in here that are going to see this.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would be really good.
The one person that gives Parker the most shit can't think of anything to say.
Because I'll like listen to what he says and then I'll counter it with "you're a fucking idiot" and then we move on from there. Like, I don't know. I need content to chirp with. I don't know, we're getting really off topic, so just say something stupid so we get back to EU games.
I'm just gonna blame you for something stupid. That's all I'm gonna do.
Okay, bet. So breaking down the,
I'm gonna say Flynn wanted me to remind you you're an idiot.
All right, cool. Breaking down the Thursday games, it started off pretty standard with G2 taking down Mock at 7-2. That was a particularly boring game. It was an Oregon game because fuck Oregon. I don't know. And it was funny, actually. I don't remember if it was Crapel or... No, it wouldn't have been Crapel. It would have been... I don't know. Whoever Mocket's analyst is tweeted out like this this folder on his desktop, and it's like G2 strats, and there's Word documents for 6 maps, and it's all the maps except for Oregon. And he just says, "Do you see what's missing here?" And I felt so fucking bad. But, I mean, taking G2 to taking any team to Oregon is a mistake. Just stop playing Oregon. Everyone in Pro League, stop it.
It's a bad place. It's a bad place because, look, Oregon is a place that good teams go to lose. We've literally talked about that a million times. Like, well, obviously not on the podcast, but it gets talked about a lot. Like, if you guys don't know that and you guys are younger comp players or something along those lines, Oregon is where good teams go to die. That is it. Like, that is just stone cold facts.
So moving on from the G2, because G2 is boring. The first G2 game was boring. The second one was rather interesting. We'll get into that in a second. Second up was Ents taking down Lestream 7-2. That was a fucking statement game, honestly, taking down Lestream. Uno and Aces looked particularly bad and just not really present at all in that game. I thought Rise had some good moments, but other than that, it was it is a pretty shitty performance from Lestream on day one. After that was Secret losing to Chaos, and that was so heading out of the podcast the first day, or sorry, heading out of the last episode of the podcast, I was previewing these matches, and I was going, oh, what game's going to be good, what game's going to be bad. It's like, well, G2 is going to blow out Mocket, but it could be close, honestly, considering Mocket did pretty well last season. Ents Lestream, I gave that hands down to Lestream, and they proved me wrong. And then I went Secret Chaos, and I went, oh, it's going to be a fucking blowout. 7-0. Yeah, no, 7-4 Chaos. And that game, just don't take Chaos to, actually take Secret to Consulate, I think is more the takeaway I get from that game, really. That was, there was just a lot of miscommunication. It looked like Secret were just not really, like, in the same way, like, Lestream and Mocket looked in their games before them, they looked unorganized. They looked like they weren't even fucking ready. And
it was a wild sight. It really was.
It was, and it wasn't even just it wasn't the whole game. It was half the game. Because Secret was up like 4-0 or 4-1 at one point, and then Chaos brought it straight back. Like, Secret were rolling. It was going to the blowout I thought it was going to be, and then no, Chaos decided to show up, and Secret just fell apart. It was such a weird game to watch. And then
we've already had a lot of really weird games.
Weird games.
Season. This EU is so crazy right now.
EU is the most fun region right now. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's fun as fuck right now. Rounding out day one was Empire against Penta, a rematch of a game that I casted in Milan, Italy for the Euro Cup, in which Empire won that game. I can't remember if it was 6-4. It might have actually been 7-6.
7-5. 7-5 is Team Empire over Penta.
Yeah, that was this week. I was talking about the other game.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Back then, I think it because it was still in the old format where you only needed 6 to win. I think it might have actually gone to overtime, and I think Empire won at 7-5, so almost a direct mirror. That game was on Border. This game was on Coastline, though. I don't think Penta looked particularly bad in this game against Empire on Coastline. They looked horrendous against the stream the next day, but Penta against Empire, I thought it was actually a pretty close game back and forth. You can see really where Panix is missing, though. That's, like, no offense to Blas. I like Blas. He's not really filling the same role that Panix did, and especially when Panix was your IGL, losing that kind of focus and direction, especially so early, or sorry, like so close to the beginning of the season. I mean, we've seen that from a couple teams before, and it has not gone well. You can have all the individual skill in the world, but losing your IGL and having to rework how your entire team plays, that's the bigger catalyst here for me for Penta as to why they're not performing as well as I would have thought they would, especially after DreamHack Winter. I thought they were firing on all cylinders at DreamHack Winter, and even before that, honestly, they looked pretty damn good at DreamHack Montreal. It's just, it's an entirely different Penta team. They kind of got to pick up their shit. They lost 7-1 to the stream, first match the next day. And then the big one! The big one! 7-4 win for Team Secret over G2 on Villa. Again, I hate Villa games. So we've seen this back and forth now from G2. And apparently, so I haven't actually seen this game. This is the one game that I missed out of all 8 of them for EU. And that just shows you that I'm bad at time management and picking which games to watch. We've seen this from G2 before, though, because in Paris, they got 6-0'd on Villa by Vitality, I think it was, in the group stage. And then later on, I don't think they won 6-0, but they fucking dumpstered someone later on Villa. I think it was near the finals. It might have actually been in the finals against EG. I honestly don't even remember what maps were played in the Paris Major Final. But we've seen this before. Maybe they're setting something up. Maybe they're saving strats because they know they can really, like, they can ride their own momentum and their own teamwork to the finals of this first portion of the season, not really have to worry. So I'm curious if G2 are actually saving for Invite and saving for the end of season. Maybe that's kind of like a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. Give it to Secret, man. They took down G2. I haven't seen the game, so I don't know what kind of.
It was wild. It was wild. That is definitely one you need to go back and watch. You'll definitely enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you've watched the game, then tell me what was it looking like? What was Secret looking like compared to their game against Chaos?
I mean, they handled G2 a lot differently than they handled Chaos. I feel like with Chaos, they really didn't know which way they wanted to go. It looked like they did their homework a lot on what G2 does, honestly, because it was on Villa once again, as you said. And G2 has been playing a lot of Villa recently, but they haven't changed up too much of what's been going on. I mean, like they had Fabian talk about Pengu on their last win on Villa, which was, hey, we know that they don't deal well with Montang, so we're going to bring Montang and try and just push that as much as possible. And, that really didn't work out for them. I mean, Pengu did have the most frags. He went 10-8, and he used Blitz as his main attacker. Blitz's play in Pro League has shot up so much. It's ridiculous. I feel like everyone is going away from it's BM to play these ops. And now they're like, nah, fuck it. Like, we're playing it. We want the win. So we're seeing a lot more Blitz play coming out. Pengu, again, using him the most as his most used operator for this matchup. But the real people to talk about here is not Leon Gids. It's Leon Goat. This man dropped 17-6 as Ashen Mute. Absolute goat.
Yeah, but he's not very good. Goat.
I mean, dude, he was literally just sawing people in half. So
Leon Gids is not very good. Cue the copy pasta.
And then Stizzy also dropped double digits. He went 13-5. So I mean, it really was just a massive show up from Leon and Stizzy. Meepy not doing too hot. He went 1-8, but I mean, it doesn't look too good for him because he was playing IQ and Legion, so it was more or less him just losing gunfights. So it was not very good. But everyone else kind of middle of the pack. Things were not good over on the G2 side, though. Goga and Jonas both went 3-8 and then 3-10. So just the support players are not able to really stay alive. Or excuse me, Jonas was actually roaming. Jonas roams. Jonas played Vigil the most, and he went 3-10. So they just did not have any roam presence at all. Goga on the Echo, not really finding too much success on site. And then, as well as Fabian did okay. He went 9-9. Kanto went 7-9. Just didn't really show the fragging power as much as he could. And he was playing Twitch the most as well, which is surprising because that F2 is so good. But apparently Leon on Ash is just way too good. I don't know. It really seemed like Team Secret just did their research on Villa for G2, because there's a lot of things that went into that map that Secret already knew about and already knew how to counter it. So there's just a little bit of counter strategy in there. G2 usually has a mixed bag of things going into a map, but there's only so many different things you can do, and they've been playing Villa so much recently. As well as they're just about to go to Invitational, so G2's not trying to pull, the best strat out of the bottom of the bag right now.
You want to know the, so I tweeted this a little while after DreamHack Montreal. You want to know where I met Leon for the very first time?
Where?
So you'd probably think it would be like on a stage or backstage or at a bar or something where we're all hanging out. No, we all walked into a very dimly lit, very tight corridored men's bathroom. We all walked into Rocket Piss together. It was me and Leon. I think was it Steez, or was it...
Who was all trying to take a piss in this bathroom? I can't remember.
It was a couple of the Secret guys, and then I think one of the guys from ESL was also back there, and then, yeah, it was an interesting first encounter. It was very interesting. I'm trying to pull up the tweet right now, but it's really far back here. I tweet way too much, actually. Holy shit.
You tweet way too much? Have you seen mine?
I need to stop tweeting. That's kind of the takeaway I have from all of this. This is really bad. My Twitter's really ugly. I need to not. There we go. It was a Lems. Sorry, it wasn't Steve's. It was a Lems. I found the tweet. I'm proud of myself. Moving on from Secret and G2, because we don't need to talk about my dick being out in the presence of Leon and a Lems.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah, you want to talk about that? We can have a whole episode devoted to possible
your penis being out in the bathroom.
Penis engagements in a bathroom with pros. All right. Mock at Chaos. I watched that game. I wish I didn't. It was just a bad game to watch. Mock it looked terrible. Chaos looked really strong again, which was weird. And then the Empire Ents game was actually really interesting. I liked this game a lot. A lot of what we kind of saw. So, unfortunately, we were robbed. We were robbed as fans of seeing the doubleheader between Ents and Empire in the regular season of Challenger League last season, because someone's power went out on Empire. I don't remember whose, and they had to forfeit their first game against Ents. And the second game against Ents, Empire won. We didn't get to see the full, tail of the tape battle. It was just a forfeit win for Ents the first time. Empire took the victory the second time. But it was good to see this rematch with a little bit of time elapsed, and with the roster changes that were made. Because back then, Uno was playing for Ents, and now he's with Lestream. This time around, Sleben was in, and Sleben honestly looked really good in both games. He didn't have as much control of the game against Ents, and I mean, the difference between Empire's game against Penta and Empire's game against Ents was that Joystick was an absolute monster in the game against Ents versus the game against Penta. Joystick was a little quiet. They banned Ashe on him in the game against Penta, and Ents didn't want to ban Ashe because they wanted Gomfy on Ashe as well, which is not a bad decision at all. I mean, shit. The usual draw with Joystick for the games that at least I've seen him in and I've casted him in, it's been he will star on Ashe, and on Jaeger he's okay. On defense, it's not. He's usually not a lot to write home about. Usually he gets his frags on the attacking side with Ashe. On defense as Jaeger, he might have a 3K in a round and then be silent for another 3 rounds. Like, he's not the over-dominating presence that he is on Ashe when he's on Jaeger. But this time around, he was a fucking monster on both sides of the board. And it really, I don't know if it intimidated Ents. It didn't look like they were too scared to, go toe-to-toe trying to hang with them in gunfights, but their positioning was really fucking weird, especially when defending upstairs inside of meeting and console. Sorry, the map was consulate. I totally forgot to mention that for anyone who hasn't seen the game. But their Ents' positioning was really fucking strange. Boonsey tried his best to hold out inside a meeting room, but he literally had no support. Like, there were people choking down on him and bearing down on him from behind long desk and top spiral, and no one was trying to kind of suppress that interception on Ents' side. Like, no one was trying to provide Boonsey cover. Like, he just, I don't know, he did his best, but you also got to give Shockwave just immense amounts of praise for his ability to hang on that balcony. It's not the easiest thing. I mean, grenades were involved on when he was playing Buck up there, but they usually got caught out by ADSs. And then there was just a lot of like miscues from Ents. In one of the rounds, there was a plant going down by Empire inside of meeting room, so top floor A-bomb. There was a plant going down in the corner where those breakable chairs are, right next to the double windows, and there was an evil eye placed on the opposite side of the room, looking directly at the plant. And there was a mute downstairs with a nitro, and I can't remember who the mute was, but the mute threw the nitro at the bomb instead of at the planter, and there was like 2 seconds left. If he actually detonated the nitro on planter, round was over. Ents would have got the round. But there was a lot of those simple mistakes coming out from Ents in this game against Empire in comparison to their game against Lestream. Like, there was, I don't know, maybe, like, it was said on the broadcast, I believe, I actually can't remember who casted the game, whether it was Parker and Kicks or if it was Gasson and Devin. But someone on the cast mentioned that maybe, Empire is just Ents' boogeyman. Empire is just the team that Ents can't get around. Because every game we've seen them play so far against Ents, it's pretty dominating, in control of Empire. But then you look at other games that Ents has played, and they've looked extremely strong and coordinated. So I don't know if it's just the factor of it was Empire they were playing against. Maybe their consulate's a little more shaky than usual, which doesn't also add up for me. Ents has always been like a pretty decent consulate team. It's never been their best map, but it's never been their worst map, and they've obviously gone through a lot of changes. I don't know. For me, it looked weird to see Ents playing so off. Like, there was just no communication between any of them.
Well, it also doesn't help that Team Empire is one of the most aggressive teams to ever touch the game. Like, they really just any little bit of information they have, they're instantaneously on top of it, especially joystick. Like that clip that they put on Twitter of him just full sending it right down the hatch into piano, and then shooting one of the Ents players behind the piano and flicking over the door and then killing the guy that was going to peek him from bench. Like, if they get any information at all, it's instantaneous. So, I mean, it might just be a direct counter to what they try and do with, that lineup over on Ents, because Ents likes to be a little bit more, how to put this? Ents likes to be a little bit more stratted. They like to really take their time and work things out and just work their way onto site with their offensive as well as defensive. They like to just try and delay as much, rotate back to site, then just try and play that off of site after they do get their maybe initial pick, and just try and just make it to where they have to come to them. Now, with Team Empire, you're not really going to get that shot, because if you even give them a little bit of room to breathe, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I've seen so far at Empire in these 2 games, and also their performances at DreamHack Winter, it's a very stark contrast in comparison to when I saw them play at the Euro Cup. That was the first time I got the chance to cast them and really seen them in a long time, considering they dropped out of Pro League after Invite. I hadn't really seen a lot for them. Obviously, Challenger League wasn't properly broadcasted back then, so I hadn't seen a lot for them. I had heard about them, don't get me wrong, but I'd not really seen a whole lot out of them as far as game tape goes. And in Milan, it was very joystick central. It was very, joystick does everything, we give him all the info, and we go. This time around, from this last little grouping of games I've seen from them, it's been a much deeper performance for everyone on Empire. Shockwave and Scyther absolutely showed the fuck out in the last 2 games as far as their ability to at least complete their tasks and move as individual units and not be so caught up in whatever the fuck joystick's doing. in Milan, it was very, if joystick dies, we lose the round. Now I have a lot more faith in the rest of Empire to be able to cohesively stick together as a 4-man group or a 3-man group without joystick or Karzeka, and still be able to execute a site take or perform in a round on defense without that kind of direction and that kind of, I guess, safety net, you could call it. They look like a much deeper team. They look like everyone else in the roster is really starting to come into form now, and that's a scary thought that Empire could be this, like, they were already damn good in Challenger League.
Oh my god.
I mean, there might be levels.
Just like, there's like, oh, Empire's in the game. Oh, all right, awesome. Okay, yeah, you guys just got deleted by joystick. Like, the rest of the players on Empire during Challenger League didn't even have to do anything. There's like, yeah, hey, you just want to open up a big frag box, and, give all the info over to joystick. Like, that's literally all it was the entire time. Like, when I casted them for CCS finals, it was literally just the Karzeka and joystick show. Like, they were just murdering everyone, and I had never seen them before until I casted them in CCS finals. Never seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like, I probably pointed out like 6 or 7 times. I was like, joystick literally only plays Ashen Jaeger. That's all he plays. Like, if Ashen Jaeger's on the board, he's playing Ashen Jaeger. He doesn't care. Like, and he's ridiculous with it. So I mean,
yeah, and I mean, we've talked about it before about teams that have a hard carry. Can they realistically compete in Pro League anymore? Because it used to be back in the day that, yeah, teams with a hard carry could actually get by. Nowadays, it really does, like, it's a team game again. I think it came out as a team game. There was a period of time in which fraggers were dominant, and the only real exception to that rule was G2 / when they were Penta, because they've always been a teamwork-heavy team. There are a few exceptions out there as far as that era goes, but I think we are really coming into, I think we've been in this newer era of teamwork, surpassing elite individual skill, and Empire was a good example of a hot prospect really driving the force in joystick. But seeing these last 2 performances without joystick being ever present and omnidominant against Penta, and now even when he shows up, the rest of the team also looked incredibly strong against Ents. Like I said, Penta is not playing well right now. That is 100% for sure. And Ents, they had a good game against the Stream. They had a very bad game against Empire. I'm still wishy-washy on them losing Uno and seeing how that whole team will react to that, and how they'll progress further. So the sample size right now for Empire is quite small in this season, but as a majority, the whole team just looks like they're firing on all cylinders, which is exactly what you want to see in this newer era, where it's teamwork first and cohesion first and individual skill not necessarily second, but it's your 1A and your 1B.
It's a wild sight, man. It really is. I mean, like, the main thing is right now, like what you were talking about with the whole old thing of fraggers just being such a heavy thing that were just a hard carry, and you could really get by with that just due to the fact of how the game worked at the time. There wasn't a lot of utility for defense. Really the main thing was barbed wire. Barbed wire used to be the most important utility, and it still arguably is. Barbed wire slows down everybody, so on and so forth. There's a bunch of people that can have it, so lots of barbed wire is never a bad thing. But I mean, the whole thing is now is having to use teamwork instead of just trying to force things. Because it used to be like, for instance, like back in like the days of like Serenity and all that. I mean, you'd watch Pro League matches and there'd be about a minute into the round and someone's already like knocking on the door of sight, like just seeing, okay, they're not playing this area right here. I'm just going to crouch walk in and try and get kills. And that literally used to be all that Pro League was just fraggers just trying to outfrag each other. And then you had your support players that were on drones, and that was about it. That's why the transition, I feel like, for a lot of people that have been in the game for so long that are, those gunners, is kind of difficult because it's so based off of information now and trying to play together as a team for pinches and site executes and so on and so forth, that it's a lot more teamwork involved than it used to be. It used to be, oh, I could really just go off on myself, drone myself in, push, and that's really all we need. But nowadays it's just not like that.
Well, I'm interested to see what Empire has to bring to the table. Mocket as well. Can't understate how legitimately terrible they have started. It's an issue. It's a bigger issue, especially being the second seed in EU last season, which shocked a lot of people. Don't get me wrong; they looked good on paper, but they definitely weren't one of those candidates we were talking about. You know, like Millennium, who are now the Stream, Secret, Penta. You know, there was a lot of teams who didn't really perform up to our expectations last season in EU, and Mocket kind of surpassed all of our expectations for the most part, and made it to Rio. Did not do well in Rio, and then they're continuing that trend of not doing well so far through 2 weeks in EU Pro League for Season 9. They do have an invitational spot, though. So another team that we're looking at that maybe needs to get their head out of their ass before February. Because now we've got 2 of them in EU who have made roster changes and are now sitting at the 7 and 8 seed, respectively, Penta and Mocket. Who have just not looked good to start the season. There's plenty of games left, don't get me wrong. Still got, 5 matches left? No. Yes, 5 matches left for the season, or at least this first portion of the season, before Invite. And group stage draw is going to be wild. God only knows what the groups are going to look like. But when Penta earned their spot, they looked like they were going to be a heavy-hitting contender. Same thing with Mocket when they qualified for Rio. You know, they're second seed in EU. They go out against FaZe in Rio. Okay, whatever. FaZe made it to the finals. You know, it doesn't really look all that doom and gloom, but holy shit, you've won 2 rounds in 2 games for Mocket. And they were both in the first one.
Not a good look.
Not a good look. Not a good look at all. Like, that's scary. That's a scary prospect that we're going to see them at Invite instead of maybe some of these other teams that look really fucking good right now. There are 2.
It's tough. It's tough, like the whole Mocket thing right now, especially because you're like, okay, maybe they're just hiding strats, but then they play Chaos, and Chaos like 7-0, and you're like,
I think there's only one
you guys
team
are gonna throw that hard. Like,
there's only one team in the world right now who is saving strats, and that is G2. Maybe,
EG.
And I stress the maybe EG, but like, obviously Invite is the number one focus. But while you're focusing on Invite and already not considered a top contender to win Invite, you might want to keep your spot in Pro League. There's my only advice to Mocket. And I mean, there's 2 online qualifier spots for EU, so you know there is a good chance we will see a majority of the top teams in Montreal in February. Unfortunately, 2 of the bottom teams in EU right now will also be there, so that's a bit of a sticky situation. Also, talking about Invite, I'm pretty sure we're done with the EU wrap-up. Is there any other team we wanted to like deep dive on? We covered Penta, Secret, Ents, Empire, Mocket. Stream, I guess we could touch on. G2 is G2. Who gives a fuck? They lost to Secret. Big whoop. They're still gonna dominate forever. Because God hates us. Lestream is
God hates us.
Because God hates us. Lestream is kind of the only team that we really haven't deep dove on. I said off the top, you know, like Uno and Aces haven't looked good. At least in that first game against Ents. Something really like the Lestream Penta game was very quick. I actually wasn't even paying attention all that much because I woke up to watch the games and then I fell asleep right before the Secret G2 game started and then woke up to watch the last 2 games. So I didn't really see a lot out of the stream.
It was a blink. It was a blink.
I think I really put the game between Penta and Lestream on Penta as to why they lost it. Again, same kind of communication issues, same kind of fucking, I don't know, and especially on Clubhouse, a map that Penta has historically played pretty well. Again, losing your IGL, I put that more on Penta, so I'm still waiting to see more from Lestream to really kind of jump out at me and say, hey, shit, you know, this looked like a really damn good team a couple seasons ago. They made a lot of roster changes, don't get me wrong, but, you know, this team is still looking to be very capable. And when you have Uno and Aces on the same fucking team, you should be expecting some more, at least fragging dominance from the 2 of them. And, I don't know, maybe they got to work out the teamwork, like we said, you know, the synergy and stuff is the teamwork capacity. It's all very, very important in today's Pro League as compared to, you know, having on the old Elevate, Laxing and Skies just out frag everyone and you make it to the finals of a LAN. nowadays it really doesn't work that way, unfortunately, for a lot of teams out there who are in that kind of hard carry situation where they don't communicate very well with their teammates. I don't know. I'm waiting for Listream to show me what they've really got, because right now I haven't seen it. The game against Penta, it looked like Penta were losing more than Listream were winning. The game against Ents, they looked like they weren't checked in at all. Anything to add?
I don't know,
Stokes
the game was just not good. I mean, Listream just seems kind of off. The team that's the most off definitely right now in EU is going to be Market. I mean, it looks like they literally let their cousins play their last matches. Like it's just not good. They literally cannot find a round to save their life. So I hope that they get better, because Market did really good last season. I don't know exactly what's going on right now. I don't know if it's just that they're having like internal conflicts or what's going on, but roster locks happened, so they're pretty well screwed. So they're gonna have to try and find some way to pick up some wins. Otherwise, this is not looking good for them for the season. I mean, we do still have a lot of weeks left. We've only had 2 play days. We still have 12 more to go. So
yeah, it's early. It's very early to be making a lot of these assumptions and predictions, but just going off of what we've seen so far, there's looking to be a bit of an upheaval in EU in a very deep league. And we predicted that going in, that'd be very deep. We just didn't quite predict who would be on top and who'd be on the bottom, and who'd be doing so fucking well and who'd be doing so fucking poorly. But that's EU. That's a wrap on that. That's what we've seen through 2 play days. The only region we haven't seen 2 play days out of now is North America, but tomorrow and Monday we'll have back-to-back North American play days. So we'll have 3 play days of North America to talk about on Tuesday, which will be the next episode of the podcast. We're doing an episode Tuesday and Friday. I will also tweet that out on the B-Leaguers account. Follow the Twitter account for schedule updates and guest suggestions and topic suggestions and all that shit. Anything to do with the podcast, don't come to my Twitter account, because I read it, but it's usually at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm about to go to bed, and I read through everything on Twitter, and then I completely forget about it. So send it to the B-Leaguers account, and when I need to look through it, I will go through there. Same thing with Stokes. Yeah. So moving on, last night was the APAC LAN for the Invitational Online Qualifiers. Mantis, congratulations for qualifying for the Invitational. I think this is their second Invitational, although different players on the team for the most part. But I think Mantis was at the first Invitational, 2017. I can't actually remember, and I don't really want to go back and look, so fuck off. Maybe they did, maybe they haven't, maybe this is the first one, I don't fucking remember, but I kind of remember seeing a Mantis flag at the UB office in Montreal, so maybe I'm hallucinating, maybe I'm right. Nonetheless, Mantis beats out, what was it? Fan Gaming? Something like that? Fan Gaming? Fave Gaming in the finals. And they also beat Orglis, the team that we predicted to make it to invite through the online qualifier. Orglis lost in the semifinals against Mantis. Very close game. So I only watched the Mantis and Orglis game, and I really only watched Border. I didn't actually watch much of the event because it was late at fucking night and going all night because time zones. And now you see why we don't keep up with APAC.
Orglis has like the biggest draw, dude. I mean, they've got like every team in every region. That's wild.
Fuck off. Yeah, we got a lot of teams right now who are very good at the game, who don't have orgs, and that is sad. Mantis, by the way, is not an org. That was also tweeted out today. That's not an org. That's just a team name. So we will have at least one team without an org at Invite, at least for right now. They might get picked up by an organization before Invite. We've seen that happen a couple times before tournaments, teams announcing their org changes. So I'm hoping they do get picked up. I mean, we know Mantis as a team. We've seen them before at plenty of different events. So it won't be the end of the world to call them Mantis, but I would like to be able to say that at least at the Invitational, every team there had a fucking organization, for God's sake. Even if it's a small one. Even if it's a fucking small one. I mean, why would you not?
We'll pick up a B-Leaguers team, dude. We'll be like, look, we'll pay you each in gummy bears, 100%.
Bet. We'll be there just fucking handing out gummy bears before they go on stage.
Who's casting this? I have no idea. But I know who's going to be standing behind him. Flynn.
Mm-hmm. I'll be their coach. I'll be their coach and their manager.
Dude,
And the org owner.
I'll be the water boy, 100%.
That would be cool though, to be a coach sitting up or standing up there on stage during one of the games. Dude, I'd love that.
Be crazy. Dude.
I'd love to be able to just stand up there, especially at this venue that we're going to for Invite this year. It is the Bell Place, so it is not the Bell Center. The Bell Center is the NHL arena. This is the Bell Place, the AHL arena, so the minor affiliate for the Montreal Canadiens, the Laval Rockets. It's their stadium. Still fits about 10,000 people though, so we're basically on par with the Rio venue as far as the Olympic Stadium goes there. Which is fucking insane, by the way. Like, I'm actually petrified to see the crowd, how big it's going to be. Because at Invite, it was like 500 people, at least last year. So, this SI is going to be kind of nuts. And have you seen that? Have you noticed that? Everyone's trying to, like, change the branding of Invitational from Invite as the short handle to SI. Stands for 6 Invitational. So, I think it's because nobody realistically gave a shit about the first one. And whenever anyone talks about an Invite, like finals or something, or a game from Invite, they're always talking about 2018. So now they're trying to rebrand it as like SI19, SI18, SI17, which I like because it adds clarity. Because that whole like year 1 season something and year 2 season something format we had for calling seasons, now we just call it season 1 through 9, which is a lot cleaner. I like it. That's gonna take a while for me to get used to though, because I've been calling it Invite for a year and a half.
Yeah, definitely gonna take some getting used to, but I mean, it's stuff they gotta do. So I mean, we'll see how it goes, man. I'm really excited for Invite. I'm gonna be going.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good time. I know that you don't know if you're gonna be able to go yet or not. So
yeah, I don't know if I'm going or not. I'll have to weigh it out, see what the kind of cost is gonna look like.
Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta say this, by the way. Stop DMing me if I'm casting Invite or not, because I have no fucking idea. I have an extra ticket and I'm giving it away. So just leave me the fuck alone.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my God, guys.
There's a lot of
Jesus
conclusions
Mary.
being drawn there without a lot of proof.
We don't know until we won't know until like next week. And even if I did know, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah.
So,
when we know we know these things for a little while before the event, and we're not allowed to talk about it. So don't ask. You won't get an answer. As of right now, neither of us know if we're casting Invite. And I don't know if I'm even going at this point. So we'll see what happens.
But as soon as it gets announced, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
you know?
So I should be able to go. I should be able to go. I'm
Dude, you know what, Flynn? You should definitely be able to go. I see you. I see a beautiful Flynnis in there casting. That's what I see.
Casting? That's a reach. That's a fucking reach.
I think it'll happen.
Casting Invite? Dude, that'd be fucking wild. I actually
they'll use you for the first group stage game and then you're done. That's it.
I mean, shit, if they're gonna pay for my shit to get out there, then absolutely do it. I don't care. I'll do one group stage game and get the fuck out. As long as you pay for my shit there, I don't give a shit, dude.
Dude, honestly, that's facts. Like, really, if it was like, yo, we need you to cast the first group stage games, I'd be like, dude, done.
Yeah.
Just fly me out there.
Well, I mean,
done.
I'm hella close. I'm a 45-minute plane.
I'm not. I'm all the way at the bottom of Texas.
I know.
That travel day is going to suck ass.
My flight is 45 minutes. It takes me longer to clear security than my actual flight is.
Guess how much my plane ticket was?
How much?
$800.
Oh my god, mine's 150.
Canadian. You know how much that is in Monopoly money?
Like 1,100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be like 1,200, but yeah.
25.
No, you're right. Out of 1,000,
yeah.
No, it'd be like 1,100. Yeah.
Yeah. I do that conversion a lot because I look at a lot of expensive things online and then I go, yeah, I don't have money for that. Oh, wait, I don't even have money for what it would be if it was in Canadian dollars. What is it, the American to Canadian conversion? Because I certainly don't have enough money for that.
Oh,
I was looking at the Go XLR and a new mic, and I was like, that's $1,000 US. Oh, fuck me. I don't have money for that. No.
So fun fact, that's gonna be my new mic setup is the Go XLR and a Shure SM7B.
Yeah, I was looking at that exact setup. Yeah, I don't know what kind of money you got, dude. But
I have a fucking day job and I get paid for casting. What do you mean?
I know, but like I only get paid off of cast. I don't have that kind of money, dude. People think we make a lot of money.
We don't.
Okay. We make We make a good
while we're casting the event, you're making like whorehouse money. Like
yeah, like if you're well, I wouldn't even go that far, but like you're making a good amount of money, like an astronomical amount of money compared to like the number of hours you actually work, but
yeah,
it's also because you're talented and they got to bring you and there's a commodity to having you at an event. But that also doesn't just last forever. You got to keep stringing together events. And when you go through blank periods where there's nothing to cast and nothing's paying you, you don't, like, I have money in my bank account right now. I have a cleared off credit card. I cleared off all my debt from being homeless in Toronto with the last couple payments that I've gotten off casting. So I have money. So when I say I'm broke as shit, it's more like I have money right now, but I know I can't spend a single fucking dime of it because I'm gonna need it. That's kind of what I say when I like. You'll see me say I don't have any fucking money, and then I'll go out and buy something, and it'd be like $25, and I'd be like, well, I needed it, so I bought it, and you'll be like, oh, well, you didn't have any money. It's like I have money. I just have to fucking penny pinch every single last dime to make sure that I make it through a month. That's my situation.
Yep.
Versus you actually have like a full-time job you work, which I quit to do casting, so it's my own goddamn fault. I could go out and get another job, but a lot of jobs aren't, because I did this in the summer after I quit my my old job. In the summer, I was like, oh shit, I don't really have like any casting gigs for a while, but I knew that Canadian Nationals was coming up, and I knew it was going to be every weekend, so I went and did like a couple job interviews for like places local, and they were like, yeah, you can't just be gone every weekend. And I was like, I'll work Monday to Friday, 60 hours a week. And they were like, I don't care. You need to work on weekends at least twice in a month. And I'm like, that's a very dumb and arbitrary rule, but okay. So it's tough to be able to like actually go out and find a job that works with the schedule. Because it's also difficult. Like, if I had a job right now and it was part-time, it would be easy. Because I would just say I don't want to be scheduled for like the week of invite, and then they wouldn't care because I'm part-time. But if I was full-time, I'd only get like the 2 weeks for invite, and then I'd never.
My dad is my boss.
I was gonna say I'd never get vacation time for the rest of the year. Like I'd be fucked. I could never go to another event and cast another event for the rest of the year.
Well, I literally told my dad, I was like, if you know they do give me invite, and then like I have a talk with Stuart and all them, they're like, look, we're gonna start using you for a lot more events. Like these are the events we're looking at, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna quit my fucking job. Like it's gonna happen. Like I can't. It's impossible for me to try and do Siege at the rate that you and I are trying to do it now, and do my job at the same time. You know what I mean? Like we have to cover all these regions, everything. The podcast is now taking off. By the way, thank you guys for that. The podcast is now taking off. Everything else, like and I want to get back into streaming because everybody wants me to stream, and if I can freaking make a living off of streaming too, that's awesome. Because really, at the end of the day, all I want to do is get paid to do something that I fucking love to do. So, I mean, if you guys want to watch me play video games, fucking do it. Like I don't, like I do it anyways. I might as well make money off of it. It's just, it's so difficult right now because like this last week, as you know, because I've talked to you about it. I've been working 12-hour shifts every single day, and it's just so difficult. It's been a lot. Did you die?
No.
Okay. You're taking a fat rip.
Lungs were occupied. I actually don't think we have anything else to talk about, do we?
What's our time right now?
An hour 15. So we're kind of short. We can do a short episode.
Yeah, I mean it is Saturday. They won't blame us too much. Oh, I will. You know what? I will tell you this. I just got in our last ending that everyone loved so much. I got my new final mouse.
Good job.
It's great. It's a really good mouse. I like it a lot.
All right.
I will say the sides are kind of weird because they put the hexagonal on the side as well to lighten it up, and it's kind of weird having that kind of granular feeling on the sides. Where like you have that feeling on your fingers. It's kind of weird, but I like it. I feel like eventually I'm going to get a Logitech G Pro wireless, and then I'll let you guys know about that. The Stokes mouse reviews. Call me Rocket Jump Ninja.
No, I won't. And no, we're not doing mouse reviews here. No, that is not a thing. Unless any companies out there want to send us mice for free to test, then no.
Oh, dude, I'm down with that. 100%.
Yeah, there you go. So I think that's going to round it out for us, guys. Sorry for the short episode. There's just not a whole lot to talk about, unfortunately. delve through all the EU games and what the teams have looked like. Went through our own goddamn personal lives and told you to donate to some charities. That's kind of all we got. There's the FoxA thing, but we went over that, and there's kind of no new drama, no new news. I was hoping there'd be more to talk about in the games for EU, but the storylines kind of blended together between each play day. There were only a couple abnormalities between the two, so yeah, that's kind of all we got. I don't really have anything else that I think we should be talking about. Invite is coming up around the corner. So I guess we could try and focus on Invite a little bit more for the next episode, but Tuesday's episode will be jam-packed with NA games that we'll want to break down and decipher, so I think that's going to round it up for us, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We do have some big news regarding the podcast coming up in about a couple weeks, I would say.
We do?
We do. I'll talk to you about it after we're done recording.
I love that Flynn always knows this stuff way before I do, because Flynn basically handles all of our business stuff. He's like, hey, Stokes, this is happening. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
With that being said, as far as the schedule goes, like I said, we'll have an episode Tuesday, we'll have an episode Friday, and then the following week will start to get hard because there will be not only invite quals wrapping up in the playoffs for those to talk about, which will be huge, on top of the 6 days a week fucking Pro League schedule, on top of Challenge League qualifiers, which I kind of want to pay attention to a little bit, but not really focus too much on. I don't know. I'm going to give it some light. I'm going to give it some attention. It's not going to be the main focal point of an entire episode, so don't worry about that if you don't really care about Challenger League. Yes, this week will be pretty standard, usual Pro League bullshit. Next week, however, will be an absolute gong show. So get ready for like a 3.5 hour episode randomly next week. Or
yeah, it's gonna be
in
wild.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
and then
wild. Oh, actually,
news
speaking of Challenger League and all that stuff, the qualifiers for Invite today were fucking wild. Like I checked up on them just to see what was going on. Mm-hmm. There was so many forfeits happening. It was insane because of that timing change.
Yeah.
It was a wild sight.
Fun times. Gotta love qualifier season. It's a good time. Well, thank you everybody, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Good night.